Hey, Tubies, it's Psychic Bob. Woo. Well, welcome to Sunday night. You know what it is? It's Sunday night. It's 8 p.m. Eastern. It's time for, what time is it, Lady Carol?
The witching hour.
That's right. And you got two of your fave rad witches here. We be radical and we're decked out. Unfortunately, Lady Ange and Lord Tony can't be with us tonight, but you got me and Lady Carol for the next hour. Don't think, Lady Carol?
Oh, yeah. We are glad to have you guys here, and we hope we can answer your questions best we can and make this a wonderful night for you. So everybody sit back, relax, and have a good time.
Absolutely. Well, I got to get our chat open here so I can see everybody. But while I'm doing that, Lady Carol, why don't you tell us what you've been up to lately?
Oh, I've been kind of busy working with yard work and, getting ready to do some gardening as soon as we get past all of our rainstorms we've been having here. But yeah, I'm just, raring up to get a lot of my seedlings growing and get everything out for spring as fast as I can.
Well, there you go.
I'm just, raring up to get a lot of my seedlings growing and
well, having technical problems here.
Out for spring as fast as I can.
Oops. Well, there you go.
I'm just,
Sorry, Lady Carol, we're having some technical problems. I'm getting feedback on everything.
Hey, it wouldn't be the witching hour if we didn't.
I know, that's what I'm thinking. This is par for the course with us. Well, let's see who we got in our chat tonight. We got a lot of people here. It looks like Follower of the Old Ways is here. Gav Hines is here. Christine C is here. Nigella for me is here. Moonface here. Tilly Vlogs is here. Christine C. Gav Hines. Eleanor Zen's here. Yay, good to see all of you. Welcome to the Witching Hour. We're so glad. You know, Lady Carol, I've been getting my witch on all day. And I'm so excited. Do you ever have a favorite piece of jewelry and you lose it and then you find it again? You ever have that happen?
Oh, yeah, especially when I'm out in the garden and the fae decide they want to claim something I have. It happens a lot.
Well, I have a piece of jewelry that I think the fae claimed, and I lost it some time ago, like 6 or 7 months ago. And for some reason, it just turned up in my jewelry box, and I was going to show it to you tonight. Check this out. Lady Carol, let's see if you can recognize who this is. Do you recognize this pendant?
Well, if it's kind of clear there.
Let's see here. Hold on.
Pan, Lord Pan.
That's right. It's Lord Pan, and this is him as Lord of the Dance. Isn't that wonderful?
So I like that.
Thank you. I was so excited to find it. It's made of pewter, and I just think it's a lovely pendant. And it's got a nice bail on the back to hook it on a chain, so it's very solid.
Oh, yeah.
It won't go anywhere, but I've been wearing that, and today I got on my Wiccan Horned Lord shirt. You see it says Wiccan on it. And so I put this on, and then I got my Lord Pan pendant because I'm all about the Horned Lord today. So I thought you would enjoy seeing that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It looks like Lord Pan's been playing around in a lot of people's yards over here because we've got a lot of blooms coming up, especially sunflowers all in my backyard area. So,
oh, how interesting. I don't know if you saw, Lady Carol. Last night I did a scrying seance. Did you get the chance to see that?
Yeah, I got to see it. It was kind of late when I did see it, but yeah, it was great.
You know, it was so fascinating because, you know, I went into the realm of the fae. You know, we were talking about the fae earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you, I had the most mystical experience. For any of you out there who haven't seen that, you need to check that out. It's in the queue right before this video. After this is done, you can watch that in the queue right before this. But I tell you, I've been tuning in to the mystical realms the last few days. I've been feeling the presence of Pan. I've been feeling the presence of the fae. I've been feeling Merlin. I tell you, it's all happening, you know. And don't you think this is part of the craft? You know, we get these moments of mystical insight, don't we?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've had like the past couple of weeks, it's just, I've been astral projecting all over the place. It's like, okay, what's going on today? So I've had a lot of experiences like that, just sitting down quietly, and then all of a sudden I'll astral project somewhere.
I love that. Hey, I got to give a shout out. A lady here, I think it's Hilarious Music, I forget. Philinda, I am. Hello from Virginia. Hi, Philinda. I'm actually in Virginia. So I'm curious what part of Virginia you're in. Anyways, yeah, tell me where you're from, okay? Let's see. Christian Druid 1313 Clifton's here tonight as well. Good to see you. And, as you were saying, Lady Carol, you've been doing astral projection. And tell me a little bit about astral projection. There's probably a lot of people out there who would like to learn a little bit more about that. Maybe you could talk about some astral projection.
Well, basically, it's where your body's in a status like almost asleep, but not quite asleep. And you literally pop out of your body for a little while, and you can go to different planes. There are different planes that you literally visit. Some are, close to the earth, and some are farther away. And I've had a couple of experiences where it's like I've been in a different body almost, but kind of looking at that body and knowing what's going on at the same time. And I've had a couple of Pleiadian experiences, which were really nice, which actually surprised me because I've had a couple of Pleiadian lifetimes, and it's like kind of going home where you're comfortable and you're not really afraid of anything. It's like what's going on and what's happening around you, but at the same time, you know that you can always come back to your body if you need to. So it's been a fun experience for me.
I love that because, when I was doing my scrying session last night, I have a really, maybe I don't know if other people have this scrying experience, but I feel like when I'm scrying, I'm halfway partially astral projecting. Because like I'm going through that mirror and I'm in a different, even though on one level I'm still here, I'm there. I'm like split between two worlds.
Yeah.
What I have done in my sleep astral projection has been full on in the world, but I kind of think that scrying, I mean, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Do you think scrying opens up maybe a bit of astral projection at times?
Yeah, I really do. Because you're still aware of your body, your physical body here, but it's like almost looking through multiple mirrors at the same time. You're actually experiencing what's going on that plane. And, you can communicate with, the other beings and still be aware that, you can connect back home. So it's been, a very nice experience for me. Some people, when they first start out, they're afraid because they don't know what's happening. The best thing I can tell you is just relax and go with it. A lot of times people think that they're dying or, they're not feeling well or something like that. When you first start out, those are how a lot of people feel. That's how I felt because I didn't understand what was going on. And the more I started doing it, the more I started relaxing and becoming more comfortable with it. And now it's just, I can just sit there and let it happen and experience all these different things that are going on.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that because, I think it's such a mystical experience and one that's amazing. And I think it proves the existence of the soul and the other realms. And Gavin Hines, hey, Gav, in the chat said he had an experience where he literally was floating above his bed. He could see his wife and baby in the bedroom. And he moved around the room. He said he could have total freedom. And then he realized what he was doing. He got scared. He popped back into his body.
Yeah, it does feel like that at first. But then when you become more comfortable and know that, you can always go back in your body, you start to just kind of take it like I look at it like a plane ride. Even though I'm afraid of heights, it's kind of like you're riding to, experience something else. But, you get used to it as you practice.
Well, we got a good question here. Becky Mummy, excuse me, what was it? Becky Mummy two behind said, how can you know whether you're astral projection or having a vivid dream?
If you're asleep, most of the time when you astral project, some people dream in color. If you're, highly sensitive, you will know what is an actual astral projection because it's kind of like you're looking inward. A lot of people that astral project um, always, have this experience of kind of looking in a mirror and then another mirror. That's basically what an astral projection is.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. And I might add to that when you're having a dream experience, it's usually very erratic, whereas I find astral projection has a very clear focus. Like you totally don't doubt that it's an astral projection. Guys, I have to show you who's up here coming up. He wants some attention here. Little Grizzly has joined us tonight.
Hey, Grizzly.
Oops, now he's getting show you camera shot. You gonna say hi? Right there, look right there. Grizzly had to join us. I just love this little buddy.
He's so precious.
He is. I gotta let him out with mom. So
okay.
Hold on just 1 second.
Okay.
Here you go. All right. These little ones, they take priority over everything.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, our fur babies are just that, fur babies.
They certainly are. Montcalm Horror says, I don't dream in color. And then Moonface says, I do dream in color. And, it's interesting when we talk about that because I think that it's not so common to dream in color. Most humans, I believe I read a study, said most of us do dream in black and white. But I'll tell you, when I've had astral projection, it's been full on color. So I think that's also a, interesting point to look at with that. So fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah, with me, it's kind of different because, I'm an empath and, I have visions and things like that. So most of my dreams are in color and intense, and I've learned to decipher between what's a dream and what's not a dream. So, it takes practice for people who cannot dream in color to know what's an astral projection and what's an actual dream. Because a lot of times when you start out in an astral projection form, they're still in black and white. They don't become color until you practice more. And then you will know the difference between what's an astral projection and what's a dream. But when you first start out, a lot of times it seems like it's always a dream. And then as you start to progress even more, it becomes colorized to you. And that's how you can distinguish the two.
Now, I agree with you. Gav Hines says, some of my best dreams have been flying, holding my wife's hand, and traveling over fields at high speed. It's beautiful. Gav, I have to tell you, I totally get that. Usually when I'm astral projecting, I'm definitely flying over the ground and I'm looking down. And I went to a similar experience once where I was flying and it was over wheat fields. They talk about golden waves of grain. Well, I saw beautiful wheat fields, and I never lived anywhere near wheat fields, so that was a real treat for me. And yes, a lot of times in astral projection, we'll have other people come in our dreams or our projections. And a lot of times, as Lady Carol was saying, it seems like a dream, but then it becomes very tangible, very real. And I think there's and correct me if I'm wrong, Lady Carol, but there's a quality of clarity in an astral projection that sometimes is lacking in a dream.
Yeah. A lot of times, especially when you're doing astral projecting, you'll have a moment, and it's almost like a split-second moment where you're kind of like, is this dream or is this an astral projection? And then all of a sudden, everything will come clearer and clearer to you to let you know this is an astral projection. Especially when you ask for your guides and your guardians to clarify it for you. A lot of people forget that they're still with us, even in astral projection form.
And isn't that true? Absolutely. Colleen Rodabah says, hi. Hi, Colleen. Good to see you tonight. Glad you're here. Yeah, thanks for coming out tonight. And I want to say a shout out to Julia O'Neill. Hi, Julia. Good to see you. And a lot of people are talking about that. The debate is about, should we dream in color? Do we humans dream in color, black and white? I've heard, now I may be outdated on my research, but I do believe the majority of us do actually dream in black and white. Now, within our group here tonight, those statistics may not hold, because most of the people drawn to the OPC and to Spirit Channel are more advanced people who are connecting to the spiritual realm. So it wouldn't surprise me if we have higher numbers in the color category than the black and white category. So anyways, Lady Carol, this, it's interesting. I was reading the other day in one of my favorite books. You've heard me tout this before. For those of you who are new, this is a great book, Wicca, A Guide for the Solitary Practitioner by Scott Cunningham. They talk in here about scrying for witches, and he talks about different forms of connecting with the spiritual realm, and one of them is through the cauldron, scrying in a cauldron with water. They also make black scrying bowls that you can get as well. But, the early witches, they didn't have all the fancy tools like we did. A lot of them just would go scry at a local pond or a lake. And I think that, if you're practicing scrying, I believe that's opening that beginning of astral projection. So if you're somebody you've been wanting to do astral projection, you might try to start with scrying, Any thoughts on that, Lady Carol?
Yeah, actually, I have the same book that you do. And I think most of us now have this book. If not, get it. It's great. But I know that back, in the old days, older than both of us, a lot of people would just take a regular bowl, that they would eat out of. And I don't know if you're familiar with this, with the black stones. They would actually take black stones and put them inside to create a kind of solid mirror at the bottom of a bowl, and put water in it and scry with that. Because a lot of times when they had pottery, they couldn't acquire the black. So what they would do is they would go to the riverbeds and they would find black stones and put those in the bottle. That's also another thing you can do.
Oh, I love that. Now that's really original. See, and that's very keeping with witchy ways, very natural, earth-centered. I love that. I love that. Well, another thing that I've read about for scrying is, if you don't have a black bowl, some people buy ink, like ballpoint pen, or what do they call it, fountain pen ink,
It's India ink.
India ink. Thank you. That's the word. And they'll put a few drops in the bowl and it'll turn the water black. And that makes a great scrying service. So that's another way also to connect. And, whether you're scrying to learn astral projection or whether you're just scrying for the fun of it, I think everybody should try it, because it's always something new and fascinating. And, Lady Carol, sometimes people write to me and say, well, Bob, I sat with my scrying bowl for 6 hours and I couldn't get any visions. What do we want to say to people who've been trying and having struggles with that? You have any advice for that?
Yeah, best thing to do before you start any type of scrying is meditate. Calm yourself down, because a lot of times we become anxious and we're like, oh, I want this to work so badly. I need this to work. Well, calm yourself first, because a lot of times when you get over anxious, your adrenaline is kicking up and it won't allow you to have that clarity. So, that's one thing you can do. Another thing, make sure you have a quiet spot.
Oh, I got to interrupt before somebody leaves. Kelly and the Raw just dropped in to say hi to us. Kelly's a very famous psychic. Hi, Kelly. Thank you for coming. I know you said you can't hear us, but I said hello to you. I'm going to type her a hello. Oops, hold on, my keyboard stopped working. Hold on, let me get that.
Okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but she's only here for a minute.
No, go ahead.
All right, yay! Welcome to Kelly and the Raw. If anybody in the chat, give her a shout. She's a wonderful psychic, and she and I have done a lot of work together. I adore her. Good to see you.
And don't forget to subscribe to her channel. She's great.
Yeah, go over to Kelly and the Raw. It's our YouTube channel and join her. She does classes and wonderful psychic and gifted teacher. Yay! I'm so glad she's here. What a treat. What a treat, you know. So I'm sorry, would you continue, Lady Kira? I cut you off.
Well, I don't know if anybody has any other questions or, want to add to their experiences or not.
Here's a good question. Okay. Followers of this Old Ways Sage says, Spirit Channel Bob, do you fire scry? Ooh, now that's a good one. Let me tell you, I'll answer that with a quantitative yes. I used to fire scry when I lived in a house that had an actual fireplace. Now I don't have that, but occasionally I will fire scry in my cauldron. I'll start a fire in it, and I do get images that way. It's not something I do often just because of where I live and the hazards, because I live in a condominium. It's hard for me to do that. But when I go to people's houses that have fireplaces, especially when we get into like Halloween time, I'll ask people, I'll go to people's houses and then visit, I'll say, oh, let's scry in your fireplace. And oh, that's a really fun evening. So yes, I do sometimes do it. I can't do it regularly though. Do you do that, Carol?
Yeah, you can also, if you don't have the availability of a fireplace, you can use candles. You can still use like a lit candle and scry with the candle. It's similar to larger fire scrying, except it's in a smaller version, and it's, a lot easier for a lot of people.
I love that. No, I think that's a really good question. Yeah, there are so many ways to do scrying. Lady Kira, what are some other ways we do scry? I'm trying to think. We've got crystal balls, right? That's one.
Yeah, we have crystal balls, we have water scrying, we have ink scrying, scrying with tea, coffee, any type of dark liquid will work. We have mirrors, which is, easier for people to access. There's just so many different ways that you can scry. You can use candles and...
Yeah. There's a way I forgot about, and then I'm sure you know this too, herb scrying.
Yeah, that also falls under the tea category, where people will scry with tea leaves, I mean, a lot of different things can be used for scrying. It's just really what your imagination can create.
Yeah, what resonates with you? Bye, Kelly and the Raw saying, bye, Kelly. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in with us. I hope you hear that. Felinda IM says, I fire scry when I burn ancestor money. Ooh, now that's really cool. Oh, I love that. What do you think of that, Lady Carol?
Yeah, that's interesting. But burning money right now for me would not be a recommended thing.
Oh, this is ancestor money. It's not actual American dollars.
I know. It's just the point of saying money.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, you can do so many things with scrying. It just depends on what resonates with you. What really enlightens your spirit. Some people are drawn to fire. Some people are drawn to earth. There's so many ways. Runes is a earth form of scrying. I mean, it's just what calls to you.
Mm-hmm. Colleen, thank you so much. Colleen Rodaba says, she said, this is all new for me, but I'm so glad that I joined. Colleen, we're really glad you're here too. And we're glad that you're joining the Order of the Purple Cord. And for those of you who are new in the chat tonight, this is, the witching hour is kind of the gathering of the Order of the Purple Cord as well. And Lady Carol, do you want to tell us a little bit about the Order of the Purple Cord?
Yes, the Order of the Purple Cord is a Wiccan order. We follow the Wiccan Reed. We do not perform black magic or hex magic or any of that. We support each other within the group. Um, we're a family unit, you could say. We're an extended family, and our order is a private order. Um, we believe in wearing the purple cord, um, and we make our own cords. And the only requirements that we have that you join the Order of the Purple Cord is you contact Lady Angela or Lord Bob for your membership. And once you're approved, you agree to abide by the Wiccan Reed and make your own purple cords. Now, I have mine, which is more extensive because I'm kind of the flashy witch of the group. But this is my purple cord. And
We call Lady Carol our Hollywood witch.
yeah, as you can tell, I sparkle in every which way.
I love it.
But my purple cord is actually made of a satin type of rope. You can make your purple cord out of anything. You can make it out of paracord. You can make it out of satin cording. You can make it out of yarn. We only ask that your primary color is purple. You can put other colors with it as well. But, and that you abide by the Wiccan Reed.
Oh, can I interrupt you just a quick second? Shauna Jacob says, goodbye, everybody. I have to go back to work. Glad I was able to be here for a short time. Blessed be Lord Bob and Lady Carol, and gave us hearts.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming. Isn't that nice how people just drop their work to get here and to say hi and be with us?
Oh, yes. Yes, it's a wonderful thing. And even if you can't stay for long periods of time, we do welcome you, even for the short period of time, and hope that we can give you some good advice. So is there any other questions out there for?
Oh, yeah, always have questions. People are saying that they love what you're saying about the OPC. And by the way, I might add also, the Order of Purple Cord, we do not have any membership dues. We are free. I don't know if you said that, but I want to emphasize that. We don't make any money. And you do not have to quit your other group. If you belong to a church or another coven, you're welcome to be part of us as well. Most of our group tends to be solitaries who want to be part of something bigger than themselves. So that's, why I started the OPC a few years ago, because so many Wiccans were telling me, PsychicBob, I have nobody to connect to. I don't know who to talk to. And I thought, we could create a place for Wiccans to gather. And, we have our Sabbats. Last week we had our, our solstice summer solstice
ritual. Yes.
That was so special. We're going to be doing more rituals. What's our next one? It's Lunasa in August.
Yeah.
So we'll be having that. So also, just on a side note, we're also going to have soon released our Order's official manual. It'll be a membership manual. It'll be a free download for you. I think we're up to almost 100 pages in the manual. So we have a lot of information. We're going to have pictures and, altar setups and our special symbols and the history of the order and all about the color purple and the purple cord. So we're going to have a lot in it. And we're working fast and furious to get that out. Okay. So we will have a membership manual for all members soon. And when you join the Order of the Purple Cord, not only you're going to get a membership manual, you also get a certificate of membership, and you'll be on our official rolls. And you're free to leave the order at any time. Just send us a notice saying you no longer want to be in the order. Hopefully nobody leaves the order. I've never had anybody yet resign. Have you, Lady Carol?
No, not yet. Matter of fact, a lot of people that we have in our group has brought other people to our group, which we love. I mean, the bigger the better, Like I said, we are a family kind of group. Now, the only thing we ask is that a lot of things that we have in our group are not shared with other groups, because we're a private group and we kind of want to keep everybody's privacy within the group. So that is one of the things we do ask.
Yes, because there are members of our group who are not open because of their jobs or family or living situation. So if you meet a member, don't go publicly announcing so and so is a witch or part of the Wiccan order of the Purple Cord, because we want to guard everybody's privacy. Lady Carol and I are pretty much out in the public, and Lady Angela, Lord Tony, but not everybody can be in the public eye. So we want to protect everybody. This place, as Lady Carol says, is a safe place for all of us. And Gavin Hines, who's all the way joining us. By the way, I'm going to give him a shout out. He's staying up late. It's after 1 a.m. in London. And he's here and he said, I'd never leave the OPC. Y'all are all my family from other mothers. Isn't that nice?
We love you too, Gav.
Yeah, we do. You're so nice. Thank you. And by the way, I was talking about the OPC. Lady Carol, I'm still looking for one or two more men who will come out and join our play group. And, if any of you men out there want to do some theater, we're starting a new group within our order called the OPC Thespians. And we're doing a new type of cutting edge theater called internet theater, where we're going to put together a play, even though we're all in different places. And I've written a play called The Sky God Lives. It's a one-act play. And the play is written in a way that will allow us to seamlessly do drama without having to be on a stage together. I think it's kind of new and cutting edge. What do you think, Lady Carol?
Oh yeah, I'm excited about it. Actually, I'm still getting my ideas for my costume together. But basically, it's like we're sitting here now and we're televising to you guys, in our own homes. And, we're going to be reading from our scripts. You don't have to memorize anything. Everything's written down. Unless, of course, you're one of those kind of people that you feel better memorizing. Hey, have fun and do it. But I'm really excited about it. I just got my script printed yesterday, and my son is actually going to join us. He hasn't told me which character yet, but he's reading over the script. But yeah, it's a way for us to connect to our other members and people that actually come here and see us every Sunday on Spirit Channel. If you feel like, hey, I can read a few lines and throw my little theatrical skills out there, you're more than welcome to join us.
Yeah, if you want to be in the show, please give me a telephone call. I'm having some email issues. Call me at my office number, 703-825-3929. I really right now need two. I'll take one, but I'd really like to have two male players. All the female roles are filled now, but I need two more people to cover the show. And if you're a male, they're smaller roles. Well, one of them actually is a larger role, but one's a small role and one's a large role. And if you don't have to be a professional actor, but there are a few requirements. If you want to be in the show and be a character, you have to agree to attend like 3 rehearsals. We're going to have online practice, and you have to make your own costume. Okay, and this play is set in ancient Rome, so you can wear like a toga. It doesn't have to be elaborate. You can go as elaborate as you want or simple, but make a costume and be agreeing to attend 3 rehearsals where we're going to meet the cast and get to know each other. It'll be our first meeting, and then we're going to do a formal read through and then another practice read through with costumes to get the sense of how it all fits together. And then when we're ready, we'll announce our live broadcast. We don't have a date yet for the show, but I'm hoping through the OPC Thespians to create a type of theater group where we're going to do pagan-themed plays. And if any of you have pagan-themed plays you'd like to recommend, I'm open to that. Right now, I'm actually writing the plays because then we don't have to pay royalties. Because some of the play productions are very expensive for the royalty fees. But I'm writing, plays. This first play is set in ancient Rome, and it's about the rise of Christianity and how it affected the pagans at the time. Because you always hear about history from the Christian perspective. but we very rarely hear from the pagan perspective. And so this will be an interesting kind of dichotomy of how this played out in history. And it's a drama, and it has a little bit of comedy in it, but it's mostly a drama. And that's going to be our first play. Now I'm working on a second play. Lady Carol knows a little bit about it, and it's going to be set in the 1950s, and it's about Wiccans in the 1950s. So not all of our plays are going to be ancient history plays. We're going to have some very modern and stuff. It's going to be about pagan themes and Wiccan themes. And so our next play, which I'm starting to write now, is going to be set in the 1950s. So if you don't want to come out for this one or can't, we'll have more coming. We're hoping to do a few plays a year. And it's a fun way to learn about paganism and pagan concepts. You know, Lady Carol, I had a drama teacher in high school, very dear friend of mine and a friend for her life. She just died a few years ago. But she always said to me, if you want to understand life, study drama, because in drama you find all the vicissitudes of life. And if you really get into it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Just to let you guys know, you know, I have never been the kind of person that, you know, did a whole lot of drama other than when I was in school and we did school plays or, you know, stuff like that. It was never really a dramatic thing. I was a choir person before I had surgery on my throat. And, you know, I was more of the artist person. So, you know, if you're afraid of trying something new, just relax. I mean, I really and truly, you know, I would never have considered myself even sitting here, but here I am because I decided to step past my boundary and explore, and I'm loving it, you know. So try something new.
And we're going to have fun. You know, I want everybody to, this is not like work, like I'm going to be a taskmaster and threatening everybody. No, I want it to be fun. Now, we are going to have to work a little bit to really build up the energy around it, but I think we're going to have a great group because we always draw great people here at Spirit Channel and at the OPC. So if you want to be part of the OPC Thespians, send me an email. By the way, Colleen Radaba, yes, I would love to see a copy of your Purple Cord if you want to send it to me. My email link will be below this video when it processes. Yay, thank you so much. Gav Hines just said, I'd love to see a play about Herne the Hunter. That sounds like a good subject, doesn't it, Lady Carol?
Oh, yeah. That sounds like a fun subject.
Yeah. So I think we're going to look at that, Gav. And, you know, Gav, I still need another male. Well, actually, two males. And I have one role that's a very small role if you don't have time for the larger role. But you might want to think about contacting me, Gav. It's a very, very small role. And, you know, it would take you 5 minutes to learn it. Anyways, just putting it out there for you, Gav. No pressure, okay? Anyways, but yeah, we have a lot of fun. By the way, speaking of fun, Lady Carol, I've got a new announcement to show my new artwork tonight.
Oh, yes, I can't wait.
All right. Well, shall we show it, bring it out now?
Yes, I would love to see it.
All right. Guys, well, first let me give some preface for new people here. One of my passions, besides being a psychic and doing Wicca, is that I love art. I've always believed that art puts me in touch with my soul. And I used to paint many years ago, and I haven't done paintings in a long time. And in the last few months, I started painting again. It's been so relaxing and enjoyable. And every week now, just so you know, on my website, PsychicBob.com, I'm releasing a free artwork to the public from my art collection of art pieces I'm designing. So this week, the current picture is called, well, it's been up all week. It's not going to be here after tonight, but it's called Biomorph 1951. So if you pop over to my website, you'll see it. And if you want to get it, it's going to go probably in the next hour. It will be down. So if you want to get a copy of that, it's the instructions over there, how to download and save it. Then you can print it and frame it. But the new work that's going to go up tonight is called Witch's Blessing. And I'm going to show it to you guys now. So here's my newest artwork called Witch's Blessing. We got some glare here. But it's a hand, and if you look, it's in the hand is a pentacle. And it's like glowing light around it. And on the wrist here, you'll notice a beautiful moon. And so this is a picture I did because whenever witches, come into our lives, they bring blessings and power flows through their hands. And so this is my newest painting called Witch's Blessing.
I love
And
that.
you like that?
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
thank you so much. Well, I hope that people will enjoy it. If you like this, you can get it. It will be probably not till about an hour afterwards. It'll be on my website tonight. You can download it. So you still have some time to get the old picture from last week before this goes up. But that's the newest picture, Witch's Blessing. Now, if you don't like this, that's okay. I'm doing different art styles, and every week I'm going to have a new picture on my website. So if you see a week where you don't like the artwork, trust me, Psychic Bob will not be offended. Just check back the next week because you might find something you like. And what you can do is I made these like 8x10 size, so you can print them out full page and put them in a document frame. Actually, the frame size is 8.5 by 11, but the actual image is 8x10. Well, of course, in modern printers, you can make it any size you want. But if you do full page, this is what it will look like. And then, I just put it in a little frame from the dollar store. You don't have to spend a lot of money. And this would be a wonderful gift if you have somebody who's just moved into a new home. Give them this picture as a protection and a blessing for them. And or if you're an art collector and lover, you can get it for yourself. So there's my newest work, Witch's Blessing. It'll be on my site later tonight. Yay. Well, let's see what some people are saying stuff in the chat here. People say, oh, they like that. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Euphoria. Euphoria loves it. G-Dog loves it. Christine C loves it. Belinda loves it. Ashley McKenzie. Thank you, Ashley. Ashley loves it. Steve Taylor. Oh, my gosh. Thank you so much. You guys are the best. Aaron Landon, welcome to you. Chilled Fox, thank you so much. Gav, that's it. Gav Hines says, I'm thinking of making a sort of portfolio with Bob's paintings in it. Gav, I'd be very touched by that. That's very kind. Thank you. Sin1982 is giving me thumbs up. Guys, I'm so glad. In the doing art, I'm encouraging all of you, explore your creativity as well. Now, you may not be a painter. Maybe you'll be inspired to create music or maybe write a book or write poetry. Lady Carol's a great artist. And Lady Carol, you do a lot of different arts, don't you?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've pretty much dabbled in a lot of different things throughout my life. I've done poetry. I have one published poem. It's a wonderful thing for me, to express myself. I do crochet. Matter of fact, let me show you guys something that I've been
Oh,
working on.
yes. Let us see. I love that.
Now, this is my belt for the OPC, and it's quite long. It has a large ring, and all of this is crochet. And it's very long. But I like to have my belt hanging downward into a sash.
That's beautiful.
And, you can actually do your purple cord like this, where you can put different colors that you may like with your purple cord. So for those of you who want to make your first purple cord, or you want to remake your cord, don't be afraid of materials. I work with a lot of different things, and I just love doing all of it. I mean, this is a lot for, a belt, but one day I'll show you what it looks like full length on me.
I got to give you a comment here. Let me jump in here. Moonfae just says orange and purple together is gorgeous. I have to agree with that. This is really great colors you come up with there.
Yeah. I mean, just have fun with your art. I mean, art is an expression. It's an emotion. A lot of people will express through poetry. A lot of people will express through song, through painting, through working with clays. I mean, there's hundreds of ways that you can express yourself. I had a friend in high school and in college um, that love to work with, would you believe, garbage. You can take garbage and create art forms out of it. Um, I mean, there's just so many things you can use. It's your imagination coming into a creation. So, yeah, get out there and try something new. You'd be surprised what you come up with.
I love that. There's a question that's come in that I think it's a little different, but I think it fits in nicely with what we're talking about. Antoine LeVay is here. Hey, Antoine. Antoine just graduated high school. Congrats to you, Antoine.
Congratulations.
Yes, that's a wonderful thing. It's hard to get through those years, believe me. And Antoine's right. Said, hey guys, I was wondering how to stop looking at a dream world and look at the real world. Antoine, I love that question. I think that's actually a very mystical question. And let me tell you, never shut down your creative side. But the craft teaches us all things in balance. And so if you want to understand the real world, get out and walk in nature, because that will ground you into this reality, and yet it will give you a spiritual vision. And, being in the real world versus the dream world has its challenges. But where most people make the mistake is that they feel that they must give up the dream world totally to be in the real world. And this is why we see so many sad people. And, right now you're at an interesting place in your life where you're stepping into the real world. And that means getting a job and dealing with people and having a boss that might yell at you. I'm not saying you will, but I'm just saying it can happen. You'll have your challenges. But it's through the challenges, especially while you're young. Lady Carol and I are maybe just a little older, not giving away any ages. But you'll find that as you embrace life, you cut into the real world real quickly. But never give up the dream world. Don't think it's a choice of one or the other. It's a balance of both. And, one of the things is when you do art, for example, like we're talking about artwork actually takes the dream world and brings it into the concrete world. So you're making something that is tangible and here and now. And then you can turn around and sell that and make money, and you're in the real world. Just a thought. Anything you want to say, Lady Carol?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. My wand creations are kind of like my dream world. When I sit down and I create a wand, I start out with a blank palette, that has nothing on it. And slowly but surely it comes into form. I mean, that is what it's all about. It's taking something that has, no true structure as far as, oh, well, this is a flower or this is a petal. You can take that petal and create a new flower. That's what it's all about. So explore it. You know, life is the same way. You know, we always say take it in baby steps. Don't think you're going to be, this grand uh, artist or this, grand musician or this grand poet. It all starts in baby steps. So don't put too much pressure on yourself to push something out quickly. Take it in strides. Take it from your dream world and slowly create it because that's when you get the best results.
I love that. Lady Carol, I've been down here visiting my mom and I haven't been had all my astrology stuff with me, but Icking 456 says, did you cover the eclipse yet, Bob? I think I've missed this one. Is there an eclipse coming, Lady Carol? Have you heard about the eclipse? I think I might have missed this.
I haven't had a chance to really look at it, but I know that there is one coming up, yes.
Okay.
I believe it's this month, if I'm correct.
Is that a lunar or solar eclipse? Do you know?
I believe it's a lunar.
Okay. Because Icking 456, I gotta tell you, I've got to go look at the astrology for the rest of the month. So I'll research that. But I'll tell you, for lunar eclipses, they're times of power when you can do a lot of inner mysticism. It's a great time, like we were talking earlier, for astral projection, you know? And also, if you're somebody who works with dark moon energy, eclipse is a time when you can do spells like for cleansing or protection. Dark moon is a great time for protection magic, I've always found, or healing magic. And so I feel that like a lunar eclipse is a time that's like the dark moon. So that's my thoughts on that. Anything you want to add, Lady Carol?
Um, yeah, actually, I've heard people, talk about, well, a lot of us have, about the dark, time of the soul. And I know during lunar eclipses, that is a great time to work on that. I actually had to go through that when my husband passed, um, especially when we had this large eclipse come through. Um, the dark night of the soul was something that, you know, was my biggest challenge this time of year, where I had to go through a lot of my own soul searching and, uh, you know, grounding myself back to earth. So you can also take that time and use that time for yourself.
Yes, thank you. Icking 456 said they think that the eclipse is on July 2nd. Well, Icking 456, I got to tell you, tomorrow I'm going to sit down with my astrology books and look at all the transits. So I thank you for telling me about it, because I will talk about that in tomorrow's video, because I do horoscopes every Monday. So I will definitely research that and we'll put it in tomorrow's video. So thank you for bringing it to my attention. They said it's a solar eclipse on the 2nd. Okay, well that's interesting too, because solar eclipse, now that's kind of its own sort of magic as well. And
Mm-hmm.
whenever we have a solar eclipse, this is a time where I call it means time out. Stop and look at where you are, what's going on in your life. It's like they call in the zodiac, the sun and the moon, the illuminators of the zodiac. So when the illuminator is removed, what are you left with? You're left with yourself in a place of transition, a place of kind of silence. I always call an eclipse a silencing in the heavens.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a time of reflection. And do you have anything you want to say about solar eclipses, Laker?
Um, if I'm correct, during a lot of the Greek astrology periods where they had solar eclipses, um, what they would generally do was consider it like time stopping. And they would take that time and use it as ritualistic time in their temples, because they considered that a time when the gods and goddesses were on the earth. So they would use that to praise the gods and goddesses, not out of fear, but out of thanks. And this was a confusion that a lot of people had. Um, this is why astrology itself became so important, because during these visits by the gods, people wanted to be prepared. They wanted to have their feast ready for the gods when they came to the earth. So, you know, this is also why it's considered a time of sitting down and thinking about what you want to do with your life challenges, how you want to change things. Um, and, take that moment to ask God to guide you. You know, um, I do it quite often, um, especially when I have my temple going and I have my God and Goddess here. I'll take those moments and sit in meditation and prayer to help with my life. So you may want to consider doing that too.
I love that. Speaking of God and Goddess, my God will be arriving soon.
Can't wait to see him.
Yeah, I'm going to have a whole video about that soon. But I love this, Lady Carol, that you shared about the preparation of the feasts in the ancient Greek times, because I have a great love for Pan and also Lord Dionysus and my goddess Isis. So because the eclipse is on the 2nd, I think I'm going to prepare a special feast at my altars for them.
That would be great.
I
Uh,
love that.
yeah, a lot of people, if you don't study Greek mythology. It'll pass you, um, because nowadays it's very seldom even taught in school. So a lot of kids and people, are going to miss that if we don't continue teaching them things that were written long ago.
Well, it's interesting. I was online today. I love to collect antiquarian books, old books from the early days, 1800s, early 20th century. And I found a book. I was looking up a book on Greek tragedies because I'm doing study on Greek theater now.
Mm-hmm.
And I found a book. Now, let's show you how cultured people were back in the day. There was a book online from 1830, I believe it was. And it was the Greek tragedies, and it was actually written in Greek and Latin. And so people who wanted to study the actual classics learned those languages to study that theater. Can you imagine? I mean, I don't think most people today could handle that.
Well, if you're not familiar with Latin, uh, you know, that would also be something to start studying. My Latin is like very rusty, but just learn something new. See
Yeah.
what you can, challenge yourself to learn. Um, History itself, there's a lot of things in history that are being wiped out, and if we don't keep that going, it's going to be totally erased, which is very sad for our younger people that are coming up. So whether you're Wiccan or not, I'm going to say this: don't let that die, because that's our heritage.
Well, that you said that so beautifully because this is one of the reasons I've always loved Gerald Gardner because Gerald Gardner really, they say he created Wicca. I actually believe that he rescued the teachings of witchcraft. He may have pieced some of it together more modernly, but the fact is he had invested and was with a group that studied the old ways. And had he not dared to come out with that, the Wicca that we have today may not have been on the earth.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a lot of our practices that were lost that we may never recover. And for those of us who study and learn what we do, I mean, every day is a study. There is no such thing as we know it all. No one knows anything completely, except for God and Goddess. But for what we know, what we can share, I will tell you now, don't hesitate to share it, because once we stop, it gets lost. And we've already lost enough in this world.
I got to give a shout out here, Lady Carol, to Christian the Man. He said the Norse church has been brought back just recently. And that is true. Now, he's not talking about the Christian church. He's about the Norse religion. He calls it the church, but church is a word that a lot of people use. But I did read that in Scandinavia, in Sweden, and Finland, and Iceland, Denmark, Iceland, the Nordic countries, that the Asatru religion and the Wiccan religion are like becoming almost the majority religions in those countries. Did you know that?
Yeah, yeah. I actually heard something about that. Um, because a lot of the religious movements that were faded away, people are trying to, bring back before they're completely lost.
Yes. And I think because, in Iceland, and Christian, tell me if you know about this. In Iceland, they just built, or they're about to be done with, the first pagan temple that's been in Iceland for over 1,000 years. And they're building a big, massive temple. And it's got shrines to Thor in it and all the Norse gods.
I
And
would love to see that.
yeah, we might have to do an OPC field trip to Iceland. What do you think of that, huh?
I would go.
I think we should do that. Would be really cool because all of us on the committee here, we all love Thor. And so I think that would be exciting, definitely. So, oh my gosh, Lady Carol, I just looked at the time and we are almost out of time tonight.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, look
Wherever Lord Tony is, he's got that
oh,
titanium.
he's spying
And
on us somewhere. We know.
he's out there.
Yeah.
Anyways, you know, Lady Carol, next week we've run out of time, but I wanted to circle back around, but we don't have time. But I want to hear more about your Pleiadian connections when you get a chance. Maybe next week we can touch in on some of that. Okay.
Oh yeah, I would love to.
It's a whole topic that is a show in itself. You know, so maybe next week on the Witch Show we're going to talk about our scrying spiritual connections. You know. Yeah, Christian the man just says he wants to convert. They actually have an official place for worship now of the old ways. Yes. Anyways, guys, listen, thank you for coming out tonight. Listen, you know, we want you to be part of our group. So visit my website, visit our Facebook page, The Order of the Purple Cord. Visit me at PsychicBob.com and join our group. We'd love to have you. We're going to be doing more rituals. We got the play coming. You know, we're going to have a lot more events for you guys. And it's a place to gather each week here where we have kind of our OPC meetup group. Okay. So, and if you're not part of the OPC, you don't have to join to be here, but we hope you will. But anyways, listen, Lady Carol is a wonderful and gifted artist, and she's a wonderful business. Lady Carol, can you tell us real quick about what you're creating and what you're selling?
Yes, I actually have a, well, not a website, but I work through eBay. But you can contact me at, let me see if I can get it to come in. It's Lady Carol's Wands and More at gmail.com.
Can you go back from the screen?
I'm trying to get the glare off.
That's okay. It's not glaring, but you're too close.
Okay. How's that?
Go further back, just about another foot. All right, you got to talk.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to get this focused so people can write it down. It's Lady Carol's Wands and More, and I'm actually selling wands through eBay right now. I have one wand up, and I'm working on some other ones right now. But I have my little, you know, shop that way. I'm also considering working on some belts for OPC so that people can actually buy belts.
Ooh, put me on the list. I'm buying one.
Okay. Well, I'll probably send you one for free.
I'll pay you because you're worth it.
Thank you. But yeah, if you want to get in contact with me, you can contact me the same way. This is also my email. So if you want a custom wand made, just give me an advance notice so I can get the materials together, and we can work on a design if you want, or you can leave it to me and allow me to create whatever way the spirits tell me to. I also do some unpainted wands for people who want to experience what it's like to paint their own. That's something that I started doing, matter of fact, a month and a half ago. And Lady Angela bought one. So yeah, I mean, I'm slowly getting into creating my shop because I want to see how things are going to work.
I love it. Thank you so much. So definitely, we're going to have Lady Carol's link below to her email. Connect with her, okay? And for those of you who want to have some spiritual help on the way, I am a full-time professional psychic medium, and I would love to have the opportunity to read for you. So please call me. My email's having a little challenge right now, but I'll give it to you anyways. Call me, though, if you can. 703-825-3929 is my phone number. And my email is PsychicBobHickman@gmail.com. And, you know, a private reading with me is a full hour, you and me, one-on-one. And we cover everything in your reading. We're going to look at your past. We're going to look at your present. We're going to look at your future. We're going to look at your spirit guides and bring over messages from them. We'll identify who they are. If messages from deceased loved ones come through, I bring those as well. We look at your past lives, your karmic links, what your life mission is, all of that and more. So if you want to get on my schedule, and I'd love to sit down with you, we can do that by telephone or by Skype or Google Hangouts. And you can read more about my work as a psychic at my website, PsychicBob.com. That link will be below. And I'd love to hear from you. I still have a few openings this week for readings. and we can make it happen. So, some of you said, oh, I wish I could spend an hour with Psychic Bob and pick his brain about stuff. Well, you can. That's what we do in a private reading. We look at all your situations. So get in touch with me. Let's make it happen. And go see Lady Carol shop. And Lady Carol, I think you're going to be putting out some spells soon, aren't you, as well?
Yes, I'm actually working on spell pages to sell in my shop. And a lot of herbal information as well. So yeah, new projects for a new time of year. I also want to show your books, Lord Bob.
I always forget about my book. Thank
He
you.
always forgets, and I'm here to remind you. We have some of his books. This one is When Worlds Unite. This is the first book he ever wrote, which I'm reading right now and enjoying. And then we have Messages from Rose. Psychic Bob, Book of Spells. Oops. I own them all now, yes. Psychic Bob's Book of Wiccan Wisdom. And, last but not least, Ouija Mysteries. I love this one too. So, yeah, make sure you check out Lord Bob's site and order some books. I've got the whole collection.
Oh my gosh, you do. Wow. Thank you so much, Lake. I'm so honored that you have all my collection. Thank you.
I'm so honored to be able to read them. I love them.
Oh, well, thank you. I put a lot of love into my writing, and I'm working on another book. I've just been delayed with everything, but I'm going to have an astrology book coming out in a few months. So hopefully for the Christmas season, we'll have that out. I've run into some technical problems with some of the graphics, but we're getting that sorted out, and then we'll have another book coming. So yes, I think Lady Carol will have one going in her Christmas stocking or her Yule stocking.
Well, that would be great.
There you go. Anyways, guys, listen, we got to run. Thank you for being here. Love all of you. Blessings to all of you. And Lady Carol, what do they got to come back to Spirit Channel for tomorrow?
Horoscopes.
That's right. Be here for horoscopes. We're going to tell about what's in the stars for you. We'll see you back here tomorrow. I love you guys. And until tomorrow, may all of you always
Blessed be.
Blessed be. So motivated. Thanks again. Good night. See you tomorrow.
Good night.
Yay. Thank you, Lady Carol.
Welcome.
Remember on the Waltons. Good night, John Boy. Good night, you Mary Ellen. Good night, Tubies.